Hello and welcome to Leashed Dads podcast. We are two leashed dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while chained to our parental responsibilities. That, my friend, is Justin.
And that guy over there, one of those directions, is Jared.
I'm Jared. Welcome, everybody. Tonight's topic is doing it yourself, aka the house projects.
Oh God, house
On
projects.
the honey-do list.
Yeah, honey. Oh my God, honey-do list. Oh, we talk about those. That's funny.
Oh, God.
I got some shit for you. I got some shit for you for already coming up here. So, hey, welcome back, everybody. Yes, as Jared mentioned, I'm JJ Justin, whatever you want to call me, the one of the leashed dads. I'm sure there are many more out there, obviously.
Let's hope.
Yeah, right. So, as Jared mentioned, the honey-do list, do-it-yourselves, house projects, whatever you want to call them, projects you do before you call in professionals. It's funny because when you brought up, Jared, the honey-do list, I actually had something just came up, and today I had received a text from my wife saying, "Here's your honey-do list for like whatever." And it's not it's not necessarily like big do-it-yourself type projects, but there are some out. There's not really many do-it-yourself projects, but they're just bigger chores, right? Need a little more attention than typical.
Right.
One of them, with it being fall now and having to get the leaves out of the yard, is rake the leaves. So, that's kind of funny. So that's going to be part of my week, actually, is the fact that I just recently received a honey-do list. And they're just very simple chores, essentially, but I'm going to have most time to do them because I'm home right now. But yeah, so my week actually was kind of fun here. This past week, I ended up going to Minnesota Friday through Monday. Had some fun. Went to my virginity bubble got popped at Mall of America. Never been to Mall of America before until last week Saturday.
Oh,
so it was.
I thought you were talking about something else there.
That was popped a long time ago. And I've got kids to prove it, okay?
Those weren't immaculate conceptions?
No.
Okay.
But, so yeah, my bubble was popped at the Mall of America. Bubble was popped this past weekend. I had really, for my second time in Minnesota, I've had a few things that were definitely my firsts. Going to see a Minnesota game in the U.S. Bank Stadium. Well, granted, just going to see a Minnesota game in general, in Minnesota, really. Had this place called Carbono's Pizza. It's a very
Okay.
So, my best friend's brother basically described it, and he's not wrong by any means. But are you familiar with the Cosmic Brownies?
Yes.
Yes. So Cosmic Brownie, it is like, he explains it. When you hold a package of the brownie, right? Just a package or whatever, it's heavier than what you think it should be.
Yeah.
Carbona's pizza is kind of very like that. It looks very light, but it's heavy because it's very greasy and such. But it's so good. It is
it's so good though.
It is good. It is good. So yeah, that was my fun week. I came home Monday afternoon, beginning of the afternoon or so, and then just been spending some time doing things around the house. Kind of working on the honey-do list today. I was outside actually working on my backyard, putting furniture away for the fall winter seasons here. And I think tomorrow I'm going to end up doing raking leaves. But yeah, so that's my week in a nutshell. What about you, good sir? It's been hella busy, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I did have some time to relax, but I don't know. It's not the way I'd like to. So don't you start your job
next week?
Next week.
Maybe.
How do you possibly start a job?
Fucking jury summoning.
Oh, you're not going to get called.
Well, funny thing is, let's talk about that actually before you dive in there, I guess. I got a paper, a court summons, right? Saying you need to be here,
right.
blah blah blah. It was from like the 3rd to whatever. Like there was a long list of dates, 3rd to the 12th or whatever, something like that. Got a text one day saying, "Hey, by the way, you don't need to show up because this is being canceled for this long. But the 16th, the 23rd, and so on and so forth, you still may have, you still have to call in because those dates aren't canceled yet." So come Sunday, the 15th here, I will be calling at 5 p.m. or just around that time to see if my day gets canceled or that Monday gets canceled. If it doesn't, I don't start till the 30th. I blame myself though. I'm not going to blame my job. I'm not going to blame the jury summons. I could have already been working there had I not been a pushover for my old job. And let them and say, yes, I will work that Monday the 2nd. I should have just said, nope, my last day was the 30th. I had other plans to start my other job on the 2nd. Whatever. Should have been straightforward that way. I screwed myself over. No one to blame but myself. Yeah. So.
Well, it's interesting. Your county, you have to call in Sunday because with Sheboygan County, you had to call in the night before every single day.
It is the night before. It's just kind of the funny thing is it's Sunday is the night before I'm supposed to go in, or I can call in on Monday morning before the time or whatever. But it's like, no, because I'm supposed to be, if I don't have to go to court on that day, on Monday, I have to be there. I have to be at my position 15 minutes early. Because my orientation thing starts at 8:00, right on the dot. So it's a big thing. So hopefully, I'm hoping that I get canceled on the 16th.
Well, let's not cancel, Justin. Let's hope the jury selection
That's what I mean.
For you gets
if
canceled.
You guys are following, let's hope the jury gets canceled. Let's hope that my court jury gets canceled or my summons gets canceled. We'll see. Who knows?
Our legions of followers should not cancel you.
No. Well, if they do, whatever. They try. I don't know why they would cancel me. Hey, City of Appleton is hiring for communication specialist half time. Let's do
it remote?
Nah, I don't know. I'm just getting an email.
Anyway,
I don't need to go do another job. I got one in place, and I'm actually super excited for it. So, anyways, your week. You were talking about it. You said you got to relax, but not really relax. My bad. You got time to yourself, but you didn't get really to relax.
Right. Antonio's birthday was Saturday. On the nose, nice. It was that day. 14.
He's old.
The dude is already like 6 foot. He's already almost as tall as me.
That's definitely his father, isn't it?
Well, no, it's most likely
where's it Natalie?
His mom. His dad isn't that. His dad is about the same height as his mom. So
okay, so he was gonna be tall no matter what.
Yeah, and so is Eleanor. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but she's gonna be awesome.
Is Daddy gonna be the shrimp of the family?
Probably. if my back keeps going the way it's going, I'm gonna shrink hella hard when I turn like 50 or 60. So
sure,
if not sooner.
Fair.
I gotta get on that exercising train one of these days whenever I pull the time out of my ass. Anyway, so he had his birthday, and tradition in our house is that when it's your birthday, you get to pick the dinner. This kid picks out ribeyes and baked potatoes and shrooms and grilled asparagus. You know, what 14-year-old requests grilled asparagus for his birthday?
Whatever. At least he's requesting that and not McDonald's.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but he must really love it. He likes it when I grill for sure. So I wanted to see if the grandparents would want to come over while he's home. They did, so we had a little mini family get together for his birthday. The steaks turned out awesome. Everything was just awesome. If I do say so myself. I
Congratulations.
pulled out the old grilling noodle and relived some glory days. But Natalie and Cora, we were all supposed to go to the pumpkin farm in Racine this weekend, eating breakfast, yada yada yada. Eleanor gets up, yaks all over the floor.
Cool.
You just signed your ticket to not go to the pumpkin farm today.
So who got to sign the supervision form?
Well, it was me. There was a whole bunch of other scenarios that were happening. She needed to stay in Racine that night to help out her sister, so we would have to take 2 cars. And she missed Apple Fest, and I went, so it kind of
was a trade-off.
Meshed where it worked out that I stayed home.
It was a little trade-off. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I did miss going. Obviously, I want a pumpkin, but we can go another time and get a pumpkin.
I mean, otherwise they could. Oh, well, I guess there's probably the rule where you only get a pumpkin per person or whatever, right? Yeah. Otherwise, do you know if the pumpkin patch or pumpkin farm in Racine actually sells pumpkins? Because they could have bought some there.
I don't know. There's a bunch of places around here that I can get one from.
Well, I know. I'm just saying because we always go to like Cuff's Pumpkin Patch or Pumpkin Farm as well. Just kind of out in Hortonville area, basically. But we do it on it's an annual basis for us, so it's almost like a tradition now for us. And we'll go and get pumpkins, and then Sam will also end up buying other pumpkins as well. She'll buy like a pumpkin for her aunt, and then some other things happen too, where she'll even just buy some random pumpkins for us as well. But this year we got some big ass pumpkins, man. Like they are huge.
I look at the big pumpkins.
Yeah, like they're bigger than my children's body, like torso. My children can't pick them up. They can pick them out, but they couldn't pick them up.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Eleanor's been battling that illness for a couple days. She missed school on Tuesday, and daddy-daughter time was good until the fear set in.
The fear?
For some stupid effing reason, I decided to let my mind wander about what would happen if I were to die overnight and she was here by herself, because she can't use a phone. Well, she probably could if she. And so this whole inner monologue is starting to kick in at like 9:30 on Sunday night. So I'm starting to just lose it. And I don't know what the hell happened, but I could not stop obsessing over what would happen if that happened. And I don't know. I talked to my wife, and she said that we should really have some sort of plan in place, and I agree, because it's anybody can go at any time. So
dark thoughts. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, so, and it's not like we have neighbors that she can run to. She can unlock the door and get out of the house, but
yeah,
where's she gonna go?
No, I get it.
So I just being home alone. That time I was in Applefest with Antonio, he can use a phone. He probably would have had trouble getting it unlocked, but there's always a feature for emergency.
There's an emergency feature that he can use.
So that was fine. But yeah, next time I'm definitely going to have some people call me in the morning and check in.
You'll be fine. It's a fear that
you don't know that.
I'm still going to claim you're going to be fine.
Well, generally, yes, I probably will be, but again.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Mentally, maybe not. Physically, you're probably still there. You're still able to wake up in the morning
long
and
gone with that.
yeah. So yeah, it sounds like you had a good time. At least you were able to bring out the inner cook in you again and make some ribeyes and whatnot. So yeah.
Ribeyes and flank steak.
Ooh, see, there you go. Oh, I smell popcorn now. That's a big problem. And
I smell it every day when I go into work. Well, every morning when I go to the office.
it's burnt popcorn.
Had that happen.
Like purposely burnt.
Why?
Because that's how they like it.
What?
Yes.
Your kids like burnt pop? Okay.
My wife likes it. Therefore, it falls onto my kids and they eat it.
Moment of silence, folks, for the burnt popcorn people. You guys are weird, and I don't understand, and I don't appreciate.
5 seconds of silence, please, for the popcorn. And we're back. Okay, let's talk about those proud daddy moments now. Get over that sad sorrow thought. Proud moments here. So with me being gone for the weekend, I'm actually proud that my kids did really well. It was actually kind of one of those fears that I had going as much as I've done this once before, back in May when I went out to Minnesota. That was only for like
concert.
Yeah, it was for a concert, but that was only 3 days. Basically, right? I took the day off or left right after I got out of work or whatever. We got to Minnesota at 9-10 o'clock at night or whatever, if I recall. Or no, maybe I took off on that day too, or half day. It was probably half day. Anyways, details don't really matter. But point being, they did really well with me being gone. I mean, they always do with Sam. But the biggest thing was there was one night Sam had to get a babysitter because she had to work.
Oh,
That was my biggest fear. Is because it's always been one of us being home with our little one, our 9-month-old, Eleonora. She did really well. So that's good. And it's not like we hired somebody out of the blue and said, "Hey, here you go. We're throwing you in the dark." It's actually we ended up bringing our niece into the equation, who still lives here in Appleton. So it's kind of nice that she was able to do that for us. But yeah, it was a good time. So, but I'm still proud that the kids did well without either parent being home for a night, basically. But then they also had fun with mom and everything like that. They went to like Love to Play again, spent a few hours there, finally played the arcade games. And then I think they did some other things too, but I returned Monday afternoon, and so on and so forth. So it was a good time. Again, I'm proud of them because they handled themselves well.
Good deal. Good deal. I got a similar proud daddy moment. I'm leeching off JJ today, folks.
It works.
Eleanor did good without mom. That's my proud daddy moment.
Is Eleanor a baby's or a mommy's girl?
They both are.
All my kids are daddy's children.
Well, that is Nico. Good for you, sir.
Arlo, Nico, daddy's boys. It's still undecided what Allie's going to be, if she's going to be mommy's girl or daddy's girl. I'm kind of leaning towards daddy's girl, but that's a biased opinion. That is biased, by the way. But she's definitely, I think, still kind of, I don't think she's really going to be able to choose or have that. But if anything, it's out there that she's going to probably have daddy wrapped around her little finger eventually. Who knows? I think it's wrong. I don't think it's going to happen. Because I'm going to do my best not to let it happen. Have her wrap her around her finger. But we'll see. I'll keep you updated in the years to come.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. I wouldn't say you're really feasting or
Leached.
Yeah, it's just kind of happens that we're all we just picked the same kind of thing. So leached off of me. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, so That's it. That's all we have for you,
All right,
folks.
good night.
Good night. We'll see you next week. No, we're going to talk about the DIYs, as Jared mentioned before. Not DUIs, DIYs.
No, we're not talking about those. Not that I have any, but
I don't think
it's a
I've ever had a
sensitive subject
DUI
for
either.
some.
Yeah. So let's talk about some DIYs. All right, Jared, lead it off, buddy. What you want to talk about?
So, doing stuff yourself in my household has always been a thing. So, growing up, my dad bought a two-family apartment on top, apartment on the bottom kind of thing. And we lived in the bottom, and he renovated the entire upstairs for a tenant to move in the future. So I grew up with helping him, use the shop vac to suck up nails or do demolition on walls. And he really took the time to teach me how to do stuff on your own instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars on contractors when you can just spend the money for material. And throughout the years of my adult life, I'm comfortable doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, demolition, as well as maybe some drywall here and there. If I had the time and energy to renovate this house, I would, honestly. But I don't have the time and I don't have the energy. So I'm kind of forced to call a contractor when I need something done.
Mm.
In the future, I would like to do more stuff myself, but also I don't touch electricity. I have been electrocuted several times in my life. All my own stupidity. Just saying.
Like
I
a
was a
battery
blonde.
to your, like a tongue to a 9-volt battery? I've done
9
that
volt
multiple times.
battery. I've touched the inside of electrical socket. I've touched the back end of a fuse box. So
Sounds like stupid moves. Yeah, I agree.
it probably explains a few things to you people out there,
Hence
but
why he's bald.
it's all me. It was never somebody else. But another fear that I have with electricity is that it can start a fire if done wrong.
Yes.
And I don't want anything to do with that. So I've had my dad come and help me several times with, I don't know, changing out a light fixture. That I'm pretty comfortable to do myself. I could figure it out just by doing what's on it right now kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point do you call a contractor? So I don't call a contractor for if I need to redo a wall or paint or sand things to refinish them.
Right.
At what point do you?
So that's a big question. Because the last time I had a contractor really was when my basement was redone. And well, I shouldn't say redone, but when they waterproofed it. So, that project was done in October, so we're actually coming up on the anniversary of it. God, I want to say it's almost 4 years, something like that. About 4 years now where I've had the basement redone or something. No, 3 years. Whatever. Anyways.
I think it was less than 5.
Yeah, it's definitely less
I
than
remember
5
talking to
because
you about
actually I think I had it done. No, I think I had it done in 2020.
Not that it matters. Anyway.
No, not that it matters, but that was the last time we really had a contractor for anything. Because really, again, like you said before, why not just go buy the materials rather than have to do it? It also helps though when doing DIYs, if you or do it yourselves, for those that just are struggling with acronyms. For those DIYs, do it yourself projects, if you have somebody that has done something like this in the past, like for example, I ended up redoing one of my sheds, like roofs, because it was rotting. So we had Sam's dad come help us redo that. And he didn't really do it, but he led me through what I needed to do. So Sam went and bought the materials or whatever. I was up on the roof putting the the boards on the panels, um, the plywood essentially, putting the paper down, the black paper, tar paper, and then putting the shingles on as well. So learning how to do that step by step is very, important. Now, would I say I'm comfortable doing it again by myself? No, because I've only done it once. Yes, I like to think I'm kind of like a hands-on learner or going through the experience, but that was a couple of years ago. If I did it on a more actual continual basis, maybe. Because he actually, I think at one point he had come over when we had a branch fall in our garage roof. He had actually come and done the repair for us.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a shit job, but whatever. He had some people come over because it was a weird spot where it happened, and he wasn't going to take the entire all the shingles off and redo it, so it was kind of like shingle by shingle or whatever, and whatnot.
Every
So
shingle.
yeah, shingle. But to your point, basements, I'm gonna basically do it. I've done it with my dad multiple times. When they finished their basement, really like back into the early 2000s. I'm talking, before 2010, right? Probably like 2006 or so is when we worked on it. Maybe a little earlier, but I helped him do that. Of course, they never did the plumbing. That was all done by a contractor, if I recall. But I helped my dad, I think, put up some of like the walls, like those frames, right? I helped him with
Studs.
the studs or the frame, the framework basically of where everything's gonna go. Yeah, you can call them studs, whatever, but I'm gonna call it the frame because it's a house frame, right? It's just a frame inside the house already, or additional framing. I've helped him do the drywall. So I can do drywall. I can do drywall by myself. I've done it. He does come and help with some things as well still, like because he's got the tools. He's got some of the tools that help
Right. That's
from
that's
from his
exactly
own
why.
projects.
Yeah.
But he's got like a circular saw, like a big circular saw that you can cut certain angles. So he's helped me with our upstairs when we went or converted from all carpet to wood flooring upstairs. Our stairwells are still carpeted, but our floors are basically, well, no, I should say all our floors. Our upstairs floors, like where Sam and I sleep, and the other bedroom upstairs is wood. The master bedroom is wood. The living room is wood. The kitchen and hallway is ceramic tile, if I recall. If it's a tile, if it's ceramic, whatever. And then the basement is just concrete, cement, whatever. And then the bathroom is like laminated or linoleum. So yeah, I would, if I do something like that, like a bigger project. For example, here, if I wanted to get our living room redone, actually no, we hired a contractor to do the flooring. Where they came and ripped up all the flooring and put all the stuff in. That's a bigger project, but I ended up putting the baseboards in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my dad come and help me with that. But we had somebody do the flooring. If I had the connect type of wood, where you just put one piece down and connect it to the next, and so on and so forth, I would
That
probably do that. Um,
Yeah, we did it in our
but
kitchen.
a bigger project such as like converting our floor from ceramic tile to wood, I'm gonna hire a contractor for that, honestly, because that's just a big project. they will hopefully take care of all the junk. Whereas I
That's
would have
another
to be
thing.
like, where the hell am I taking this?
Right. You'd have to get a dumpster.
Yeah. And I don't feel like renting a dumpster for, however long it's going to take me. That's the problem. Now, granted, you can do some of these projects by yourself if you're going to plan ahead and know how long it's going to be. Like when my dad and I were working on their basement, we were down there every single day after school, after work, working on the basement to finish it up for a few hours or whatever. That was part of the planning, right? Where for example, I started working on my basement, haven't necessarily finished it because I haven't put the panels on, or like the baseboards yet on, and things. So shame on me, but that's really like a winter project when you're inside and everything. And we just never decided to put any more time to it. Really, I'm going to say shame on me, but so it's not really completed. I've got to get it done sometime, but at this point, I want to either I'm going to go buy or we're going to go buy like a new countertop area for our sink and everything versus building one. But I think it would still probably be cheaper to build one. I just need to get an idea of how or what I want to do or how I want to do it, but do it right, not just fuck it up. So carpentry, woodworking, whatever you want to call it, is not necessarily a strong suit of mine. I don't do electricity either all too much. I will have my dad come and help me. But I now feeling a little more comfortable with ceiling fans or, because I've done a couple ceiling fans with my dad now where I could probably do it myself. It's a hell of a lot easier when you still have two people doing it though. And it's a hell of a lot easier when you know that there's somebody that has some sort of electrical training on hand.
Yeah.
Rather than fucking it up and doing something wrong. So I will probably still use him. If I need to, I would probably use YouTube or something to find out how to do it. But at the same time, while I still have somebody around, I'm gonna try to use them or get their knowledge before. He's also helped me do. I've had a problem where one of the fuses from our fuse box was dead. Didn't know that was the actual cause because our dryer wouldn't work. Like it wouldn't turn on because it wasn't getting the like 270, 280 volts that it needed. So that
you
was
still have fuses still, huh?
whatever fuse box, whatever. The breaker,
Breakers?
Right? Yeah, the breaker itself was dead.
Oh.
So, I count that as a fuse. It just has to be switched. It's not like I have to get a new fuse for it, but
Right,
the breaker itself.
What you're explaining is the old fuse boxes where you had to buy the screw-in fuses and replace.
Oh yeah, no, that's my fault. I still call it a fuse or a breaker box, right? I mean, the breaker is technically more updated thing, but
yeah. So it was just tripped.
No, it died. Like it was not producing the power it needed. And I didn't have like that tester where you can test how much of the current is going. But when my dad brought, because he had two of them, so he brought me his spare one basically and said, "Here you go, have it." We basically started testing it. And it's like, yep, nope, there's nothing coming from that breaker. So we had to get a new breaker basically for it, which wasn't bad. It's a little bit, little costly, $24 or something like that. But it's new and it works, and my dryer works again. So, long story short, small DIY projects I would definitely do, not necessarily hire a contractor. Even if it's like a deck. But to your point, if you know you're never going to have the time or whatnot, that's probably going to be where you want to do it. Now, if you can see, I mean, my basement again is unfinished. It's been a debate about hiring somebody. Now it might be more realistic because I don't actually have to work down here anymore. Or I will no longer be working down here unless I start streaming again. But at that point, it won't matter because my basement could be done in 2 to 3 days.
Right.
So I just cover up my shit, don't come down here in the basement for the few days or whatever, let them do their job, and bam, it's done. But again, that costs money. We did hire a contractor to do our stoop, right? We needed a new stoop for our door. That was a little rough, but that only cost like $3,500, something like $3,000, whatever it was, for the total thing, which wasn't bad. They redid the stoop, so basically the steps, and then they redid the sidewalk to walk up to the stoop, which was nice. They made it a little wider at the top, or like near the steps, for whatever reason, but it looks nice. I like it. So yeah, there's just some other things that need to be worked on.
Yeah, which you mentioned a deck. I like doing DIYs, right? Especially if, like I said, I have the time. I like doing stuff myself. Like, I'd love to redo the deck.
Mm.
Love it. But do I have a weekend to dedicate to it? No.
Probably
Are
need
the
more
kids
than just
going
a
to listen
weekend,
to
though.
what?
You need more than just a weekend, unless your deck
Yeah,
is
that's
really
true.
small.
No, it's, I don't know the exact dimensions, but it's not huge and it's not high off the ground. It's maybe, honestly, 6 inches off the ground. So, but I don't know. Growing up, my dad did have a full-time job, but I was also with my friends the entire time that he was doing it. It wasn't like I was like my kids now, that they're constantly in the house and constantly, watching TV and stuff. That, not that they don't constantly watch TV. That came out wrong. They're just always around. You get what I mean, folks.
They're not hanging out with their friends.
Right. They're not hanging out with their friends. They're not at their grandparents. They're not at daycare. They're around. Even during the summertime, they're around. So it's hard to have the space and the time to do those projects myself. So with your honey-do list, how big of the asks are they?
Here, I'll read them off and I'll let you determine. Personally, they're not that big. Bleach the shower, like the grout and everything.
Yep.
Vacuum the stairs.
I love doing that.
Vacuuming the stairs should be like a weekly task for us, but we haven't done a very good job of that.
That I hate.
Plasticking the windows for winter.
Oh, you have original windows, huh?
We got new windows, but
Contractor.
we got a contractor to get new windows, but Sam wants
Yep.
to plastic them just to help. It still conserves or saves more money in the long run, even if the windows don't have necessarily or aren't necessarily seal broken yet, or anything like that. But then the other two that are on here, rake leaves in backyard. So I'm actually just going to probably snow blow it into a big ass pile and then eventually put them on a tarp and pull them into the front yard and dump them on the side of the road, because we can do that, which is nice. Appleton will come pick them up, and it is that time of year. And then the last thing is really switch out the boys' clothes, from summer attire to fall attire, basically. Get Arlo like 6-month or 6-year-old clothes or whatnot, so he's fitting in, not looking so freakish like Capri style kind of thing with his pants or whatever.
Pants.
Yeah, so it's nice though, because Kane, I think, is at that stage where, yeah, he needs more clothes, newer clothes, but he can still fit in like size 8.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's getting taller, so it's a little harder. He needs to start getting newer clothes, and he'll eventually probably just be sticking with those clothes for now. Who knows? Who knows when he'll go through his next big growth spurt, or if he's just going to have growth spurts in smaller or spurts, basically, right? I mean, they are called growth spurts, but more frequent but smaller spurts, right? So he'll maybe grow an inch here, stop, a year later grow another inch or 2 inches or whatever in a couple months. Who knows, right? So
Right.
in those smaller
What's
increments, but more frequently.
yeah. What's the biggest that has ever been on your honey-do list?
The basement, which is still incomplete. But that also goes to the fact that kids, right? Having the kids definitely takes time. And then just finding, like, with Sam being at work and I have to take care of the kids, I can't necessarily be down in the basement working and upstairs trying to watch them. Um, it'll get a tad bit easier once Eleanor is actually finally a little older and able to do things a little bit more independently, or my boys can help take care of her a little bit more, rather than all of a sudden her just like crying when I'm not around or whatnot.
Right.
So it'll be nice. Maybe that's at the point where I'll be able to come downstairs and finish the basement for once, or well, that would be the biggest project, right? Finish the basement, finally get the countertop in. Once both Sam and I have that dual income household again, I will probably even try to finish up the bigger portion of the basement too, because I want to be able to get that done. I'll do probably section at a time or whatnot. It won't, because we do have like a storage, like a back, like a hidden unit area.
Yeah.
Probably not going to touch that at all. Just no need for it. Because really we use it for storage. But the area that I'm in now, definitely I would love to finish up because it does look somewhat tacky. Maybe redo the bookcase or shelf that's right next to me. Definitely redo the wall. Maybe make it all like a wooden feel, like a wood panel feeling. We'll see. It all depends. But that'll eventually come once, maybe if Sam has some time to, Sam and I both have time to ourselves. Yeah, she'll buy the supplies, right? Being the breadwinner of the family, she'll buy the supplies. I will do the work. Um, but in the end, we'll see when it gets done. Hopefully, it gets done soon.
Yeah. So, as a dad, would you want to teach your kids how to do stuff themselves?
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
I will always want to have my kids have somewhat of a hand skills or tool skills, because I think it's still critical, right? Um, Now, here's another common DIY people, like, not everybody does, but there's still a good mix. Oil changes or working on your car, right? I don't work on my car, or I should say I don't do oil changes. If it's a light bulb problem, I have my friend, I'll talk to my friend and he'll maybe come over. That's not so feasible right now due to him having moved recently. Um, but you know who you are. But he would come over and help me out with my lights. Uh, and after that, after the couple times he's done that, I've started working on that part myself, having more confidence. Oil changes, I don't have confidence. More or less, it's the time and finding a place to basically recycle the oil. I'm not going to take time to take or get a jug of oil or whatever, a gallon, 5-gallon carton of oil or whatever, or jug of oil, right? Drum oil, and transport it and find a place to dump it. I
I
will
got that
honestly
problem
let
myself.
you do it yourself.
No, well, I have a bunch of oil in my garage that I don't have anywhere to put it.
See, that's the problem. Where do you put it? Where do you take it? Um, I mean, people know where to take it out, that's since they probably have done it a couple times by themselves. But I don't need the oil sticking. I've already got no room in my garage. I mean, just this weekend, just today, I've organized my garage a little bit to store some things. I've again moved my furniture in for the winter, um, so my garage has less space to store. I still can't even fit a freaking car into it. It's that small, or
Yeah.
we just have that much stuff in our garage that takes up that we have to. Another reason why I don't necessarily snow blow my driveway. I can't put my cars away. I mean, I could put them on the street for a little bit, right? To shovel or do whatever, but I just can't put my cars in a garage and get the snowblower out comfortably. And I'm not comfortable snow blowing around my vehicles either. You don't need to scratch it because I'm an idiot and ran into the front or the back of the vehicle or the side of it and scratched it up with the blades. But yeah, no, point being, right? Um, I definitely would love to teach my kids some of those skills so they can save money essentially in the long run or be smart about it. And if they choose to go with it, excellent. It doesn't mean they have to. Um, they can always ask for help, right? Maybe somebody does have that skill. I still think that some of that handworking or doing it yourself skills are essential. Um, especially when you can have the confidence and not necessarily have to do it. Especially if you're maybe just working on that small project, where it's like, okay, well, I don't want to hire a contractor and spend thousands of dollars just so they can replace a hole in my wall when I know I can do it myself.
Yeah.
For like $50 and a couple hours of labor. So yes, I would definitely teach them. What about you? Because I don't. Not saying having only girls in the house is a bad, should be something to look down on. Would you teach your girls to do that?
Yes. If I had the opportunity to, let's say I came across some extra cash and I was able to find a house that we could renovate or do ourselves, that I would enjoy that. But again, I'd have to be very well off to afford the time to do it, and that be my kind of job. As far as the car thing, it is my freaking dream to get a project car and have them help me with it. I don't know if it's possible with the way that my wife would want our family to go and maybe move to another country or something at some point, if that's even possible. But that's my dream, is to have them help me with a project car eventually.
See, that'd be kind of fun. I don't have any aspirations to build a project car, so they wouldn't necessarily get that. I guess if they wanted to get their hands on any type of like car projects, you better become a mechanic. Or I think my neighbor, he's got a project car right now that he's been working on. It's just practical. I don't. I won't say practically done, but he still likes to work on it from time to time or bring it out during the summer or whatnot, start it up and everything. So um, there's still some things, but he would definitely take that. I think he's got to take it in to some people that he knows and get it actually fixed or taken care of. But if they ever wanted to do something like that, it's like, okay, well, find somebody that is willing to teach you, because I can't teach you that shit. Um, I'm not gonna dive into it and start trying to do a project car myself. Um, maybe their uncle Shane could do that with them if they really wanted to do that, because he wants to, or he likes to work on cars and whatnot. He is a service writer for a car place now, or still a service writer. Has been doing service writing for years now. But I mean, he likes to work on his own vehicles from time to time, or has in the past. So, and he wants to have like I guess a garage where he can do that on his own. So I think push comes to shove, that would be cool. Um, but yeah, no, I think still projects like anything they can do to help better themselves, knowing that they can do it with confidence rather than having to spend all that money um, on what would turn to be smaller projects would definitely be nice. So
Well, ideas also, build birdhouses and shit with your kids. Just get
yeah,
them
yeah,
acclimated with hammer, nails, screwdrivers,
that's what tech ed
anything.
classes are for. I don't know if they have to take those anymore.
I doubt it, honestly. with the way
But I
this
remember
world's going.
taking tech guide classes in like 7th grade or whatnot, and built like a little toolbox myself. Did like a little birdhouse or something like that. So they do get that. I would, if they still take those classes or have that opportunity to take those classes, I would advise it, but they don't have to. If they want to
No,
take
they
something
don't.
else up like cooking, if their passion becomes cooking, cool. If their passion becomes doing those DIYs here, awesome. If they're not passionate about any of that stuff, I don't care. As long as they have some sort of knowledge, basic knowledge, even for crying out loud, um, is better than no knowledge at that point. They can maybe
Yeah, I agree.
work their way around the toolbox. That's my thoughts.
Same. That's all.
But yeah, in the long run, if you have a big ass project, I would recommend getting a professional. Um, but if it's smaller, when I say big ass project, I mean if you're getting your basement like waterproofed, you're not going to want to dig around the house or break up the concrete in your house. If you really have to do something where you're going to need a lot of removal of something, like again breaking up concrete or taking your windows out to replace your windows, um, hire a contractor. It's going to be easier. They're going to do it hopefully for you, remove the junk and everything. Um, Here's another one. I'm never going to install my own AC.
No.
I'm
Or a
going
water
to
heater or
hire a
anything like
contractor
that.
for that one. They were
Right.
very good. They actually, because my house used to be an oil tank house for heat. So we'd always have to fill up oil every so often, spend money, $300, $400 every so often just to fill up their oil tank to full. Um, but they ended up taking the oil tank out for us too when they installed when they were putting in the AC and everything. So that I will never do. That's just too much. I don't think I could ever install that. Definitely let the professionals handle that, or let those water heat, air conditioning heating companies do that for you. Otherwise, smaller projects like, well, maybe I would let the professionals handle the bathroom, unless it was um, replacing a door or replacing a countertop, something like that. Don't care. If you're doing plumbing stuff and you're not really a plumber or have no plumbing knowledge, probably leave it be.
Yeah. Good
Find a
advice.
contractor so you don't have to, because you know what's going to really bite you in the ass is if you try to do something with plumbing or electricity and you fuck it up, you're going to hire a contractor and they're going to fuck you in the ass. They're going to be
Sure.
like, figuratively, they're going to be
Okay.
like, what the hell were you doing? Or what happened here? And then they're going to charge you extra
Yeah.
because they're going to have to clean up your mess and then do it right. So if you're not comfortable doing something and you don't have people that are comfortable doing it for you, like if you don't have a friend that's a plumber, who cares? Just hire a plumber, okay? Or if you don't have a friend or a parent or a family member that is an electrician, hire an electrician. They are going to do it right. Not saying you wouldn't do it right, but I'd rather you be better off knowing that you're not going to have to spend money on your materials in the first place and then hire a contractor and spend more money because of a mistake that was made. Or you make a bigger problem. As to Jared's point before about doing like bringing in an electrician or something, he's not going to touch it because it can lead to fires if it's done wrong. Right? Just play it safe. Do-it-yourself projects are big. A lot of people do them. I guarantee it. It's just, again, time management. If you have the time for it, have the money for it, perfect. You're good. Do it. Or if it's small, who cares? Honey-do lists, I count them kind of. I guess if it's a raking the leaves, things like that. That's not really. That's more like a chore. But it's still do this list because it needs to get done. But yes, I think honey-do lists can have those DIYs as well, like build a goddamn deck for crying out loud, or replace it, whatever it may be, or something. But guys, hopefully that helps you. Hopefully you can decide when you would call a professional, or if you're comfortable calling a professional, or comfortable doing it on your own. Just remember, DIYs can be fun if done right. And they can, I almost would say they can be relaxing too, right? So, Jared, any other thoughts about the DIYs before we move on to some do-it-yourself jokes?
Nope. Play it yourself. Or play with yourself. Play it safe.
Yeah,
Play
you
it
want to tell
safe,
them to play with
just like
themselves?
Justin said.
You're dirty. Yes. Play it safe. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is really good. I like this one. My husband is so good at home repairs that they have a special VIP area for him in the emergency room.
That's a home improvement joke.
I ordered a bed from IKEA, and they sent me a tree trunk and a saw.
I get it. Like it's kind of funny. It's something that
Yep.
they would do.
This one is so true, though, if you think about it this way. Here I'm watching Property Brothers, and the lady's profession is dog manager. Their budget is $725,000. What am I doing wrong in my life?
Right. But you got to remember those shows are they're TV shows. They're not reality.
Some yes and no.
In some cases they have in here. It's a joke. It's funny. I'm not.
Well, is it funny?
Let it go.
Kind of.
Let it go.
It's one of those like you what are you doing wrong? If these people are able to be like, my budget for a house is $725,000 and I'm a dog manager. And I go here, okay, I'm a dental assistant and I make this much in a year. $725,000 house, that's nowhere in my budget. Even with the dual income at that point.
Yep.
Somebody in my house needs to make 6 figs. But all right, last one here for you all. Please don't come to my garage sale if you've ever let me borrow something.
Very nice.
Yes. So, all right, guys. Well, that'll do it for us here tonight at your Leashed Dads. Again, we are the Leashed Dads, and you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast. Basically, those are the medias. If you want to hit us up on Facebook, you can do that. Email us, leashdads14@gmail.com. It's double D, so Leashed Dads. And then again, Facebook, and so on and so forth. If you also have Twitter, or not Twitter, TikTok, we do post some funnies or shorts on TikTok as well. So we will see you all later. And again, thank you very much.